Happening right now, authorities searching for a bear that was involved in a mauling in Anchorage today. This is video from just a few minutes ago in the Stuckagon Heights area near where all of this took place. Thank you for joining us.
Justin Mattson is live near Basher Trail for us right now. Justin, what do you know as we learn more about this terrifying attack?
Yeah, I am here in the Stuckagon Heights area. This is near where authorities say a woman was mauled earlier today by a brown bear. The Anchorage Fire Department is saying that she was hiking alone. She was relatively deep in the trail system when she was mauled, that she ended up making a phone call on her smartwatch where she informed officials that she was unable to move. She was then taken to a hospital via helicopter, and AFD spoke with us earlier today about the struggles to get in there and get her out.
That they were unable to get themselves out. They were having a hard time moving. So it was really crucial that we get our paramedics back in there. It was very difficult terrain for our guys to access the patient.
She was aware, she was coherent and spoke with us throughout the phone. She gave us directions to where she was located. We had to pull in our drones, and then the Alaska State Troopers assisted with Helo 3. After, I would say, roughly maybe about an hour and a half, we were able to find her.
Now, information is still coming in related to this bear mauling event. We will be sure to keep you updated as information becomes released because we still do not know the condition of the victim. Be sure to tune into the late edition for updates, and you'll be wanting to check out our mobile app and our website for those updates as well. Out in Stuckagon Heights, I'm Justin Mattson. Back to you, folks.
All right, harrowing story, Justin. Thank you very much. New separate reports released today by the NTSB detail the fatal crashes of two prominent Alaskans back in 2023. Jim Tweedo, the famed bush pilot who for years was the star of Flying Wild Alaska, and Eugene Buzzy Peltola, the husband of former U.S. Representative Mary Peltola.
We've got team coverage on this tonight. Georgina Fernandez is standing by for us, but we're going to begin with Johnson Kuhn, who's tracking a legal case now centered on the Peltola crash. Johnson.
That's right. The NTSB report says the plane being overloaded with moose meat, along with antlers fastened to one of the aircraft's wings, was the cause of the fatal crash. And its release today coincides with a lawsuit filed by former Representative Mary Peltola alleging negligence on the part of the owner of the aircraft. Eugene Buzzy Peltola, who also previously served as regional director for the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Alaska, was reportedly flying a Piper PA-18 Super Cub when it went down in the mountains northeast of South Mary's in southwest Alaska on September 12, 2023. In the NTSB's final report, the agency indicated the plane was roughly 117 pounds overweight. The report also stated that moose antlers attached to the right wing strut likely would have led to difficulties during takeoff. The NTSB Alaska Region Chief Clint Johnson calling it a perfect storm of contributing factors.
Number one was obviously the overweight condition, no ifs, ands, or buts there. The parasitic drag from the antlers that were attached to the right wing, and then also the last thing would be the wind, the mechanical wind turbulence at the end of the takeoff area, which unfortunately led to this accident. If he would have been able to take one of those items out, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. But those things, all in combination, led to this tragic accident.
In a civil suit filed in Bethel Superior Court on Friday, Mary Peltola alleges the aircraft's owner, Bruce Werba, and the two companies he oversees were negligent by causing her husband to fly excessive hours, fly without adequate rest, fly under dangerous conditions, and carry an external load without a required permit. According to court documents, the suit is seeking damages of at least $100,000. I reached out to Werber's company, Alaska Pike Safaris and Wilderness Adventures, who declined to comment. Mary Peltola also declined to comment. The New York Times previously reported Werba and Eugene Peltola were friends and said the latter was issued his commercial pilot's license almost 20 years before this crash. John, Augusta?
Johnson, thanks so much. And the NTSB today also released its final report on the June 2023 crash that killed Jim Tweedo, who was 68 at the time of his death, as well as his passenger Shane Reynolds of Idaho.
The agency says that the crash was caused by gusting tailwind conditions during takeoff, which led to the plane hitting a tree and crashing into a valley near Shaktoolik.
Georgina Fernandez sat down with some of Tweedo's loved ones today. We've got her standing by. Georgina, how is the family feeling right now?
John, Augusta, the NTSB's final report today ends a 25-month waiting period for the Tweedo family, as they described to me a sense of relief with the report finally being released.
It's going to be nice having it over and done with, because it's been stressful waiting, and luckily there are no surprises, and on we go.
The family is saying today that it has been a tough 2 years as they continue grieving Jim Tweedo, their father and husband of almost 40 years. Jim, they say, still plays a vital part in their lives and still feeling connected to him, especially when out in the wilderness. One of the ways Jim's daughter, Ariel, is continuing to remember and honor her father right now is by pursuing their father and daughter dream of driving a van down from Alaska to Argentina. She is in Utah on that route as she slowly makes her way south and down the road of processing her father's death.
I still don't think it's real, and I think that's why I like being on the road, because it just seems like he's at home and I'm on vacation. And so,
You know what he would
one
say?
day maybe it will sink in, but right now I think what's healthiest for me is just to keep playing pretend and just, yeah.
I think what he would have said to her all the time is, be careful, it's a jungle out there.
Yeah.
And she actually has a
Be careful,
tattoo.
it's a jungle out there. Or
Because that's
if
what
I'm
he'd
in
say.
Costa Rica, and then it just became, if I was in New York, or anytime we hung up the phone, that's what he said, is like, hey, be careful, it's a jungle out there.
And Jim's widow does tell us she is sending her love and thoughts to Mary Patola and her family today as well, saying it is not easy, but they'll get through it. John, Augusta.
Georgina Fernandez, thank you very much. After more than 7 weeks in captivity, a Nigerian priest who served in Alaska for 6 years has been released by the terrorist organization Boko Haram.
According to the Catholic Diocese of Fairbanks, Father Alphonsus Afina is in good spirits and taking time to recover. Senator Lisa Murkowski credited U.S. diplomats for Afina's release and thanked those who prayed for him.
A week before, someone who had escaped from Boko Haram had brought word that Afina was still alive and recovering from leg injuries due to being tied up.
I just hope that he knows how excited we are to know that he is safe, that he's alive, and that we'll continue to pray for him and for his ministry as he recovers. And if his bishop is willing to send him back to Fairbanks, we'd be willing to take him back again. He's very much missed and well loved here.
10 other captives were released at the same time as Afina. As of yet, FAF has not heard anything about why the captives were released.
Well, the U.S. Department of Justice is seeking the voter registration lists of several states, including Alaska, ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. That was first reported by the Alaska Beacon via State Line. Alaska's news source today confirmed the State Divisions of Elections received a letter on July 2nd and is currently working on a response. At least 9 different states have received requests for information over the past several months. That's according to letters obtained by the DOJ, or from the DOJ by State Line. States such as Alaska have received emails from a DOJ office asking for meetings in order to discuss information sharing agreements.
Several Alaska school districts are now part of a lawsuit that was filed this week against the Trump administration over the decision to freeze billions of dollars in federal education monies. The suit against the U.S. Department of Education and Office of Management and Budget now include the Anchorage School District, Fairbanks North Star Borough School District, and Cuspuk School District. ASD is the state's largest district and lost about $12 million, according to the lawsuit, which was filed in federal court in Rhode Island. We've got the full story on this on our website. And now let's turn over to our forecast. We've got Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry on the outlook for the rest of our week. Melissa.
Yeah, Melissa, we're hearing people out there, they're going to do a little fishing, take in that summer sun. Is that going to be a thing?
Yes, yeah, we are going to see some beautiful and warm summer sun here over the next week all across South Central, and many pockets within the state will get that experience as well. Tonight, I am tracking a few showers developing across the higher elevations of South Central after seeing some of the warmest weather of the year so far in places like Seward, where high temperatures were in the upper 70s. We are now seeing some quick moving showers right up over the Kenai Mountains, some rain likely there tonight. Seeing a similar scenario as you head up over Hatcher Pass. Those rain showers moving east into the Matanuska Valley with some cloud cover across the rest of South Central. So that has dropped our temperatures down a bit. 65 right now in Anchorage, 71 in Palmer. Still holding on to those 70s and the sunshine as you head into Ketchikan and Fairbanks. You can see the cloud cover, showers in the distance, and temperatures there in the mid-60s. But look how warm it is across Anchorage Bowl. 73 now on the east side at the Camp Creek Science Center. Still 69 at the Eagle River area there of the Glen Highway, and 65 at New Seward and Huffman. High temperatures today did make it all the way up to 69 in Anchorage, 72 in Wasilla and Palmer, and 78. The warm spot, that was in Seward. Beautiful conditions there on Resurrection Bay. And temperatures will stay warm overnight, only dropping to 60 tonight in Seward, 53 in Anchorage, a little cooler in Wasilla and Palmer, Kenai. All seeing those temperatures down into the upper 40s. And you can see wet conditions there through the Matanuska Valley. Tomorrow, we'll see that sunshine. It's back with high temperatures in the low 70s.
We love that sunshine, Melissa. Thank you very much. Still to come on Alaska's news source, federal funding cuts expected to hit home. Alaska's public media stations already feeling the pinch.
And a new edition of Arctic Gardens is here. Stay with us.
You're watching Alaska's news source.
Well, public media on the brink of collapse, literally.
Political reporter Will Courtney spoke with rural public media stations around our state, including one whose radio tower is on the verge of falling into the sea.
Will, what can you tell us?
Yeah, John, Augusta, Congress passed a list of budget cuts last week that included billions slashed from public media funding. Just a week out from that, we're seeing the first big impacts. What you're seeing now is a station transmitter for KCHU, a station that broadcasts to a coverage area larger than the state of Ohio, including areas like Valdez, Cordova, and Whittier. That station transmitter, as their news director James Devins told me today, is about to fall into the Valdez Glacier stream due to erosion damage. With the federal cuts, KCHU is calling on the public to help by donating. If the tower collapses, the director says the station will likely shut down its broadcast for good. But the consequences, he says, are more dire than that, referencing the 1964 earthquake.
There was a tidal wave both in Valdez and in Chenega, and the tidal wave killed dozens of people. It was two separate events, but it killed dozens of people. And the difference that day between the people that lived and the people that died was where they happened to be standing when the wave hit, because they had no warning at all. And today, the warning that they would have would come from KCHU Public Radio. Without that signal, it keeps me up at night to think about what could happen.
Senator Dan Sullivan voted for the federal cuts after helping negotiate a deal with the White House. Few details have come out from this deal, but some $10 million should be going to tribal and native stations around the country as part of that deal.
All right, and Will, NPR announced today that they're cutting $8 million from its budget for vulnerable stations around the country, and does that include Alaska?
Yeah, that's still something that we're definitely learning. But what we should know is that according to the U.S. Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, I believe, Alaska is one of the most vulnerable states when it comes to public media funding. I've spoken to several rural stations in Alaska today, and they say they haven't heard anything from NPR yet. So the verdict's still out, but I also spoke to the CEO and president of Alaska Public Media, and he also said he wasn't sure if Alaska was going to be included in that pot of money. But he said regardless of anything that NPR provides is just a drop in the bucket compared to the federal cuts.
All right, Will, thanks so much.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.